Hi everyone. So now let us hear the story of Ceyx and Alcyone. The story of Alcyone and Ceyx is very touching and portrays the love that triumphs over tragedy. This young couple was so much in love that neither the gods nor death could set them apart. So let's dive into the tragic love story of Alcyone and Ceyx. This is Ceyx, and he is the king of Thessaly. So Ceyx ruled his kingdom with justice and in peace. And this is his lovely wife, Alcyone, and was the daughter of Aelus, the Greek god of the wind. And her mother was either Enerit or Agel. And she was very, very devoted to her husband. Alcyone and Ceyx were admired by gods and mortals alike for their great physical beauty. So, kani si Alcyone ug Ceyx, guwapa ug gwapo. And as well as the profound love they had for each other. So, the gods and mortals admired the relationship of Alcyone and Ceyx, and they used to often call themselves Zeus and Hera. They would jokingly tell each other that they were Zeus and Hera. And Zeus, hearing this, he was not happy, and in fact, he was infuriated and regarded it as audacity. And Zeus waited for the right time to punish this young couple because they dared to make themselves comparable to the gods. Well, Ceyx's sakes, he was still in mourning over his brother's death, so wala pa ni siya ka move on sa death sa iyang brother. And he was deeply troubled over some ominous signs that he had observed. So he decided to consult the oracle of Apollo at Carlos in Ionia, or the Western Anatolia. So one day, nag-decide na si Ceyx nga, moadto ko sa oracle of Apollo. And when Alcyone heard what Ceyx said, she was not happy, and she tried to dissuade her husband from, the decision to travel. And she reminded him of the danger from the fury of the winds, which even her father, Elios, the god of the wind, often found difficult to control. And she put pressure over her husband to take her along with him. So, ana si Alcyone nga, ug moadto gani ka, dapat ubanon jud ko nimo, dapat na ako kanunay sa imong kiliran. But Ceyx doesn't want his wife to be in danger, so walay choice si Alcyone but magpabilin and wait for him. So si Zeus, di ba naman ka suko si Zeus nilang duha. And when he knew about the mission of Ceyx, he decided that it was the right time or the opportune time to punish the couple for their sacrilege. So he launched a thunderbolt that raised a furious hurricane engulfing the ship, which began to sink. So, ang punishment ni Zeus ni Ceyx ug ni Alcyone. So nag-launch siya og thunderbolt so nga nag-result og hurricane and niigo sa ship nga gisakyan ni Ceyx and it began to sink. So Ceyx knew that it was the end of him, and before he completely drowned, he prayed to the gods that to allow his body to be washed ashore so as to enable his beloved Alcyone to perform the funeral rites. So this is a picture that he drowned, and before he completely drowned, he prayed to the gods that his body would be washed ashore back to Alcyone. So Alcyone waited for her husband for a long time, and she continually prayed to the gods, especially Hera, queen of the gods, for the safe return of Ceyx. So every day, every night, Alcyone would pray to Hera for the safe return of Ceyx. But Hera knew what happened to Ceyx, and she felt profound sorrow for the tragic fate of Ceyx. So she sent her messenger Iris, the goddess of rainbow, to look for Hypnos. So Hypnos is the god of sleep and the comforter of the afflicted. And Hypnos had a son. His name was Morpheus, and he entrusted the mission to him. And Morpheus was an expert in forming apparitions. So Morpheus created a lifelike specter of Ceyx, which revealed to Alcyone in a dream the tragic death of her husband. So Morpheus portrayed as Ceyx and told Alcyone about the tragic death of Ceyx. In profound grief, Alcyone ran to the seashore, beating her breasts and tearing her garments. So she had gone desperate, she had been wild because of what happened to her husband. She suddenly beheld the body of a man that had been washed ashore. So in the horizon, she saw a floating dead body. Coming closer, she realized it was the body of her beloved Ceyx. So the prayer of Ceyx to be washed ashore to Alcyone was answered. And after performing the last rites and unable to continue living without her husband because Alcyone loved Ceyx so much that she could not live without him. She was desperate. She was depressed because of the death of her husband. Alcyone threw herself into the sea and got drowned. She was determined to join her husband in the land of the dead. And the gods of Olympus were profoundly affected by the tragic fate of Alcyone and Ceyx because gi-admire baya silang duha because of the love they had for each other. And the gods were sorrowful about what happened to them, especially Zeus. Nya, si Zeus ra ba jud ba ay sad-an nga namatay si Ceyx. And base na konsensya siya sa iyahang gibuhat, so he transformed the couple. So he transformed the couple into a halcyon bird, which is the kingfisher bird. As you can see, this bird is really beautiful, is really gorgeous feathers, the color of its wings are beautiful. And that's what it called Halcyon bird or the kingfisher bird. And the phrase halcyon days owes its origin to this beautiful myth of Alcyone and Ceyx. So that was the legend of the kingfisher bird or the halcyon bird. According to the legend, for 2 weeks every January, Aeolus, the father of Alcyone, calms down the winds and the waves, so that Alcyone, though she had been transformed into a kingfisher bird or a halcyon bird, so her father would calm down the winds and waves, so she can make her nest in the beach and lay her eggs safely. And hence the term halcyon days comes to signify a period of great peace and calm every 2 weeks of January. So that is all. Thank you so much for tuning in to this tragic story of Alcyone and Ceyx. So makaingon jud ta nga sila ang literal nga meaning sa till death do us part. So manag-admire sila kay love nila kayo ang isa nga bahala og sa kamatayon dili jud sila mabuwag baskin ang kamatayon. So that is all. And I hope you learned something. And I'll see you next time.